You know, a fair amount of time on this channel we talk about quote-unquote bad video games, games like Sonic 06 that are fundamentally broken inside and out, but have some redeeming qualities. And although the majority of people tends to write these quote-unquote bad video games off as just trash and to avoid them, I find a shocking amount of people that defend these video games, the video games that the rest of us write off as trash and say have no redeeming qualities. According to these other people, they're actually quite nice, and they can enjoy playing them. So I'm here to pitch the question, is it okay to enjoy bad video games? Obviously, on the surface, most people would answer yes to this. As I've brought up in the You Cannot Please the Sonic Fans video I made a while back, everyone has their own opinion, and they are fully entitled to presenting that opinion in any way they choose on the internet, because it's their own opinion on their own topic. And in terms of video games, a lot of people tend to have their own opinions on certain games. I'll bring up Sonic 06 again, since that's a pretty strong example. Back when I did my Everything Wrong with Sonic 06 video, a lot of people were saying, hey, I like this game, or this game actually isn't that bad, or DanRock, you should drink a pint of lighter fluid and stand next to an open flame. And honestly, I don't particularly find anything wrong with any of those statements, especially the last one, because I'm a strong believer in freedom of speech, and I think that if someone has a problem with a video game, they should be allowed to say it, and if someone else likes a video game, they should be allowed to say so. If anything, we should be giving props to the people who enjoy the bad video games. I mean, you gotta think of it this way, if they can find enjoyment in a game that's normally deemed bad or unplayable, they deserve some props. They deserve some power. There's an old saying that goes, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, does it make a sound? Well, that's the same with video games. If a game is quote-unquote bad, yet nobody plays it, is it really a bad game? The more literal people out there will say, yes, if it's fundamentally broken or isn't programmed properly, then it is a bad game, regardless if anyone plays it or not. But the more open-minded people out there might say, no, if nobody plays it, then how can they determine if it's a bad game or not? You actually have to physically play it. You can't just look at it from afar. But then we get into the topic of people that do actually play the video games that have differing opinions from the people who just say that they're bad. For example, if you take a game like GTA 5, which is pretty much loved by everyone, and you ask a GTA purist from the late 90s and early 2000s if they like it, and they say no because it isn't GTA San Andreas or GTA Vice City, that doesn't necessarily make it a bad game. And I do know that by that logic, if you take a game like Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, which is pretty much known as a terrible, miserable piece of garbage, there's gonna be people that say that it's the best Sonic game on Earth, either ironically or just to mess with people. If I were to say a statement such as Yoshi's Island is an awful, awful game, am I wrong? I mean, for most people, yes, because a lot of people tend to like a game like Yoshi's Island. And although I don't personally agree with my own opinion there, it was just an example, there's gonna be some people that agree with me. Some people that say, yeah, Yoshi's Island's overrated, or some people that say Yoshi's Island is terrible. And in their mind, it's a bad game. However, for the people who don't feel that way, that see us portraying it as a bad game, they're gonna say, I enjoy that game. And even if the grand majority of us in a group say that Yoshi's Island's terrible, for example, there's gonna be one person that unironically enjoys it. So, back to the topic at hand, no, I don't think it is wrong to enjoy a bad video game, because no matter what anyone says, even if it's the grand majority, there's gonna be one person who thinks that the game is good, or can find a lot of enjoyment in it. By far, the one thing that I see way too much on the internet is people being absolutely attacked for their opinion on video games. For example, someone will start a conversation with another person on the internet and say how much they love Sonic Adventure 2, and then someone else will reply, well, 2/3 of the game are bad, thus the game is bad, because it's not what they wanted. And yes, I know I'm stepping way too closely into the territory of the last video I made about this sort of thing. However, it's still a topic that needs to be brought up. Just because the grand majority of people say that something is good or say that something is bad doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. It's just people's opinions, which once again, for the 40th time now, parallels with my last video. So overall, no, I don't think that you should be shamed for liking a quote-unquote bad video game, especially if you haven't played it yet. Don't hop on a bandwagon, try it out for yourself and you can discover your own opinion, because who knows, you might just find something that you really, really enjoy. This has been DanRock, and I'd absolutely love to hear what you guys have to say about this topic. Please leave your ideas in the comments down below, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out and take care.